All right, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to start taking a look here in our first video in a series of videos about your genetic disorder project. We're going to start by just taking a closer look at what it is you need to accomplish here and what your instructions are. So basically, in this project, you are going to choose a genetic disorder. You've done that already. Research it, that's the next step, and then present using a PowerPoint presentation. These are due by May 7th. Some of you may finish before that, but consider the fact that I'm giving you a fairly long amount of time. Consider what that may mean as far as the quality that I am expecting, okay? So the first step that you have left to do here, you've chosen your disorder. Now you need to research it. You do need to use a couple of websites other than Wikipedia. Wikipedia is not horrible, but it's not always reliable. And there are a lot of really good and reliable resources out there. So we're going to take a quick look. I'm going to bring you here to my blog for just a moment. This is from March of last year, 2019. And there are 4 websites here that are really good quality websites. Some of these, especially this first one, I'm going to show you in some future videos just how helpful that particular website can be. But one of the things I want to also take a look at, not just the fact that there are 3 really high quality, respectable organizations that have websites here, but another suggestion is actually Googling the name of your disorder and then the word foundation afterwards, because this can often be very helpful. Not for all disorders, mind you, but let's take one. I don't know if anybody's doing this one. I don't think so. But let's take one that's called Rett syndrome, if I can spell. And you can see I put this in earlier. So Rett syndrome and then foundation. If we take a look at that, we can see right here pops up homepage, rettsyndrome.org. Okay, sounds like a really, sounds like it would be a good place to start. So let's go ahead and click that. And if we go to their homepage, you're going to see there's some information about Rett syndrome. There's information for families. Both of those can be really helpful. There's also information on research, which might be helpful as well. So if we go to About Rett syndrome, we go down here, we see that it actually describes Rett. We can see it even tells us how often it occurs, which is a piece of information that you will need. Talks about some of the ways that it affects different aspects of life. Also information that you could use. What is Rett syndrome? You could click on that and find out more about what it is. Diagnosis is one of the things that you need to know about. How it affects different populations is one of the things you need to know about. So here we see it affects the population of males in a different way. A glossary of terms is always helpful because in a lot of these things they're using a lot of big words that aren't always easily understood, and so this can be a really helpful item as well. Here's some history, which is one of the things that you can look for. Now, not every disorder has a website that is as helpful as this one, but this is a really good one. So just to let you know, that is one other thing that you can take a look at in looking for information. And you can, of course, just type in, we'll type in just Rett syndrome, all right, and just do a simple Google search. The same thing came up, but there are some other places that you can go as well. So NORD is a good one, rarediseases.org, that is a good website as well. Mayo Clinic is good. Medline Plus is not too bad. So you want to look for things that sound like they would be good. And if you have questions, definitely let me know. All right, let's go back to our instructions for just a moment. You do need to have a bibliography slide. I mentioned in class that it would be a good idea to just have a PowerPoint slide where you're just copying and pasting your websites into. And you have your research sheet where you can keep track of research. Future videos will focus a lot on this. Let's go to the presentation for just a moment. Minimum of 10 slides. So ladies and gents, title is one, bibliography is another. There are 8 required topics. That would give you your 10 slides if you just did one per topic plus the title and bibliography. However, those 10 slides are going to give you up to a 90%. In order to get more than a 90%, up to 100, you need to include some voice recordings in your PowerPoint, some slides with extra information, then make sure those extra slides are good quality information. So all of your slides have good quality information on them. You can also get that up to 100 by having more than the minimum number of photos. Now that just doesn't mean slapping random pictures in. You can't get 10 points for random pictures, but you can get some more points. And we'll talk about that a little bit more in another video. So basically, and this, each topic should be a slide, but some of your topics may need more than one slide. That's where you can get some of those extra points. Please make sure that you're using a lot of bullet points and phrases, not so many sentences and paragraphs. That also just helps to make sure that you're not plagiarizing as well and stealing information and trying to make it sound like your own. Here's a good one. Be sure to use colors and font sizes that make it easy for the viewer to see and understand. For instance, and this is just one for instance. Let's take a look at this slide for just a moment. Okay, red writing on a lot of different backgrounds can be hard to read. It just kind of starts to get a little bit fuzzy and I don't know, just kind of does some weird things to the eyes on occasion. However, yellow on blue, that's a little bit easier to read. White on blue, even easier. White on dark colors, so a dark background with white lettering can hardly ever go wrong. You also want to make sure that pictures and designs and things aren't making it hard to read, and that the font type isn't hard to read. Like this font is very easy to read, it's very straightforward. There are some curly, fancy fonts though that can be a little bit hard to read at times. All right, so I talked about the fact you do need to have some photos or diagrams or charts, but the more you have, the more you can earn some points there. All right, so ladies and gentlemen, we'll go over some more information in future videos. Thank you very much.